We did the math. Friday night will mark the first Saints game in the Superdome in 243 days.
But for the team, it's all about the 4 weeks in the rearview mirror. Garland Gillen reports.
The end of training camp is finally upon us. West Virginia to New England, back to the Greenbrier, then to Houston, and finally Metairie. Today was the last open practice of this Saints camp. So far, so good, leading into Friday night's game.
You know, we're healthier maybe than we've been in a while. Last night in the meeting, it seems as if this year there were less hamstrings than I can ever remember. You know, there have been some camps where, you know, it kept guys from practicing. We got a handful of guys came back after Houston, so that's one impression. I thought, you know, we weren't rained out at all, whether it was, you know, on the road with one of those teams or up in West Virginia. We've had some good heat here, and yet guys have worked through it. Overall good, real good.
The players, on the other hand, are just glad training camp is at its end.
It's been a hard camp, I'd say. We've been physical, we've been hitting. I can't imagine anybody practicing harder than we have these last 3 weeks. So none of us are really fresh. We're out here making plays 70, 80%. So I can't wait to see how everybody is when our legs are under us.
The official end of training camp is at the conclusion of the Saints-Steelers game Friday night. Final cuts are next weekend when they get down to 53 players. From Metairie, Garland Gillen, Fox 8 Sports.
Saints training camp is over after more than 20 practices. All that stands between the team and their third preseason game is a Thursday walkthrough. Sean Fazan takes a look at the importance of Friday night.
The Saints always preach preseason games may not count, but they do matter. And none of them matter more than the third one on the schedule. For them, it's Friday against the Steelers.
Typically, the third game is you're kind of like your final dress rehearsal as a starting unit going into the season, since a lot of us don't play much in that fourth game. So, you know, listen, we want to look sharp.
Around the league, the third game is the game where your starters play the most, and you really want to get a sense of what you're going to be getting week one. You know, you want to have everything clicking, have everything on cylinders individually and as a team.
And one key difference, aside from the starters playing longer in the third preseason game, is film study. They didn't really watch much for the first 2 preseason games, but we'll watch plenty for Pittsburgh.
From a film study and a handout and a game plan book and a personnel report, more this week, trying to really put everyone in that mindset of how it will be when we get going here and start planning against Oakland.
We haven't game planned at all for really New England or Houston. You know, you practice against them a bit, but then you're just calling a lot of the same stuff that you're just continuing to install, you know, and you're not so much based upon what they're doing to you, that kind of a thing. So I think the third game is a time where, okay, you know, you're watching a little more film, you're able to kind of fine-tune a little bit more of what you're doing.
And hopefully pick up their first preseason win in the process. In Metairie with the Saints, I'm Sean Fazan, Fox 8 Sports.
Season ticket holders who aren't planning to go to one or both of the remaining preseason games can donate them to workers and volunteers in the flood relief effort. Just log into your account manager and select the game you want to donate to charity.
The Saints fan experience is about to go high def in the Superdome.
We share a sneak peek at the brand new look that'll premiere Friday night when we come back. Houdat Nation gets 900% more Houdat this year.
That's a lot,
Is that possible?
It is. Just take a look. As Rob Krieger reports, the newest addition to the Dome will put your big screen and even the one we have behind us to shame.
The Saints' newest addition can't tackle, huddle, or even catch, but it's sure to catch your eye when you walk into the Dome.
Well, I think it puts us in competition with all the other stadiums that they keep on saying that we have an old stadium, let's buy it. You know, we've got to build a new one. You don't have to now. Yeah. We're in competition, and it looks good.
These gargantuan 333-foot wide HD video boards won't be sidelined on Friday. They're 9 times bigger than the old video boards and sure to give the Houdat Nation the best view in the house.
I think it takes very little to get on your own Saints diehard fan like me going, but that's certainly going to add to the oomph factor. Just coming in, watching the game, seeing your guys out there, giving their all, that's pretty much all we need to get going.
Along with the $30 million upgrades, new efficient LED lighting, and this sweet remodel of the 400-level suites, It's just a taste that's already got Saints fans ready for the black and gold to be home. Just down the street at Walk-On's, game time can't get here fast enough.
I think we expect a lot. Everybody's excited. It's football. I mean, just because, you know, it is a preseason game, it's the first home game, and I know we bleed black and gold, and we're really excited. It's football season.
No lack of excitement from the Saints-ations, ready to unveil this year's swimsuit calendar for the fans and make those sidelines shimmer as bright as the new lights. Preseason or not, Deuce McAllister knows it's the lights, the board, and the fans that make this game important for the guys who take the field.
Get that feel and have that home backing is going to be good for them. I mean, you know, it's not the ebb and flow of a regular season game, but, you know, you'll still have the emotions, and, you know, guys are playing for making that roster, so hopefully it's good competition and, you know, a lot of good execution as well.
And a lot of TDs replaying on those screens. Rob Krieger, Fox 8 News.
And if you're not in the Dome to see the screens, you can see it on your own screen in your living room. Fox 8 brings the Saints' third preseason game to you, right to your home. Our pregame coverage starts Friday night at 6:30. Kickoff against the Steelers is set for 7.
Fox 8 Sports is brought to you by AutoSmart. Be smart, buy smart.
Ever since he snagged that deep ball, this guy with one hand while falling down, Michael Thomas has shown that he is ready for the NFL, even as a rookie. His ability to adapt quickly has been a plus, and it's going to get him on the field quickly this season. Nothing's official until the final 53 is revealed, but Thomas is as much a lock to make this roster as Brandon Cook says. In the preseason games, no one's caught more balls than Thomas. All that's missing from him is a touchdown, but you get the feeling that as he continues to learn the nuances of the NFL, he'll find the end zone soon enough.
Definitely, you know, you got to know how to respond fast, and you got to know how to correct your mistakes fast. You know, you're going to make mistakes out there. Everyone's tired that no one's perfect. They always mention that, but I feel like overall the coaches want to see, like, if you make that mistake or you do something, how fast you're going to respond back.
I think he's further along probably for a few reasons. Number one, he comes from that lineage, you know. Number two, he played at Ohio State, so, you know, Urban Meyer, a head coach who makes things extremely competitive for his players at all times. You know, playing a lot of big games, big games. You know, they asked him to go in and make big catches in big situations, you know, so he's used to that type of an atmosphere, which is good because then you get in onto the big stage of the NFL field and you feel like, you know, I've kind of know what this feels like.
You can stay up to date on all the latest Saints news and analysis with the new Final Play app. Be sure to find it in your app store, and as a bonus, when you download it, fun times, you can have a chance to win a Final Play getaway, which includes sweet tickets to the game, dinner for 2, and a 2-night hotel stay. Even in the preseason, the NFL is looking to collect. The latest set to add to their coffers, Houston linebacker John Simon for this hit on Drew Brees last Saturday night. The hit, which drew a roughing the passer penalty, came after Simmons' teammate Jadeveon Clowney had already gotten the Brees. He's been fined $18,000. He does plan to appeal that fine.